everybody, how are you doing today? In this video, I am going to show you how to cut up a whole chicken. A lot of people shy away from buying whole chicken in the supermarket because they do not know how to cut up the chicken. Did you know, by the way, that when you buy a whole chicken, that it is cheaper? Not just that, depending on who you are, you can use the different parts of the chicken for different purposes. So I want to show you how to cut up a whole chicken. Before I do that, I should say some people use gloves when they wear nails like mine. But I should say that if you do not want to wear gloves, for some people, I wear gloves. For example, when I'm doing dumplings, I do wear gloves. But when I'm cutting up chicken, did you know that they have different types of, what would I say, fingernail brushes? So they do have nail brushes. So you can either use nail brush with your soap, ordinary soap, or if you wish to, you can use the nail brush, you can use soap, and you can use lime as well. So just to say that, yes, for those who do not want to be wearing what would I say, who don't want to be wearing gloves when they are cutting up their chicken, just to say that there is another way. Okay, so the first thing what you want to do is to start by cutting off the legs. So if you notice, you can see like an opening in the joints here when you open the chicken like this. So that's the first thing that you are going to cut. So when you slightly cut it with your knife, you are going to realize that there's the hip, and you can see that there is like a joint there. So what you're going to do first, if you wish to, if you pop it a bit, you can see where it joins. And that is the first part that you want to cut. So you cut the leg, both of them, I would say that's the first thing. So you have the drumstick, you have the hip as well. You slightly cut it, pop it as well, you will hear the breaking, and it shows you where to cut. So that is one finish, and I have my container here, so I put my chicken in that. And you do the same thing to the other side. You will feel like the opening. Turn it once you slightly cut it. Then you are going to hear like a little pop, dividing the hip from the chicken itself. And that's giving you like a clear guidance, direction as to where to cut. Same thing you're going to repeat to get for the drumstick. Pop in the joint, you pop it like that, and it's easier for you to cut. So yes, a lot of people, just be buying chicken parts, but you don't have to do that. So after you have gotten rid of the leg, which is like the drumstick, the other part is the wings. Same thing, a little cut, break it, and it will make it easier for you to see where to cut. Some people like to turn their wing in like that, and it's okay. You do the same thing to the other side. So the other wing, remember, slightly cut under the wing, nice little pop, and you will clearly see the joint for you to cut. There you go, and that's the wing out of the way as well. So we have gotten rid of the wings, we have gotten rid of the legs, meaning we have cut that off already as well. Now the chicken will have like a nice little back. Some people, what they do is that they use the back to make soup, stew, etc. Now you are left with the breast itself. To make it easier with the breast, what you want to do, what some people do, is that they open the breast in two. So for example, in the chicken itself, it will show a center mark. If you cut along that center mark, what it does is that it divides the chicken. So what you're going to see, and you have to be careful with this when you're using knife as well. So you divide the chicken because it will show you the center part, and what you want to do is to cut in the center. Cut down, nice, break it. So you're going to use your hand as well to break it. So now you see why I do not use gloves. What I do, I ensure that my hands are clean and I take care of it. Now it opens for you to see what's going on. What you want to do now is to separate the breast from the back itself. Now that it is open, you will clearly have an idea, meaning you will determine how much of the back you want and how much of the breast you want. So you determine, what would I say? I would say cut as close as possible to the bones at the back itself for you to separate, in order for you to separate the breast. So some people like the breast part, some people that's their favorite part of the chicken. I will have you know that for me it is the back. I love bones. I love to chew my bones. I love to have my bones, so that's why I do it. Okay, so what are you left with? You will have the two breasts. But for me, the breast for me, it's too big when it's like this. So I like to cut my breast in two. And I do not cut it long way, you cut it across like that. So if you look at the technique that I have used, then you'll realize that, you know what, it's not too bad. You actually, cutting up a whole chicken is not too bad as it is. And there you go. One breast out of the way, the other breast cut. If you wish to cut it in three as well, then you can. And you do not cut it vertically, you cut it horizontally. And that's it. As a matter of fact, this one looks a bit large as well. So what I'll probably do is to give it another cut horizontally. Bones, any bones that's there, you can either break the bones or you cut as close as possible to the bones, and there you have it. So with the back as it is, it's for you to decide. The end part, I get rid of it, right? So for me, that is garbage. Just the bottom part of the chicken is garbage. I cut that off. And afterwards, what I do, I break it probably in 3 parts. So you're still, make sure that you have a good knife, I would say. What I do, or you apply a bit of pressure right there. So you break it, and then you will see fully where to cut. After you have cut that, then it is time for you to wash your chicken in lime. So I use a lemon in my water when I'm washing it. I also clean the inside. So the back will have a bit of, stuff inside. I clean that. Some people like also don't like to use the skin, have the skin on their chicken. It is at this point that you would then, just slightly use your finger and you take off the skin. And that's it. So after you have cut up your chicken, then what's left is for you to wash your chicken thoroughly with, as I've said, lime. I use lime. And then it will be time for you to season. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wash my chicken and then I'm going to come back and season it. After you have cleaned up your chicken, then it's time for you to add your spices. So the spices that you add onion. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting up the onion. I also add other type of, herbs and the seasoning. So I'm taking it step by step. I add onion, and of course the amount of onion that you add it's to your liking really. I also like to add garlic as a part of the spices, as a part of the seasoning that I use on my chicken. So what I do, I like to add like the seasoning, the spices to the chicken. Then I allow it to marinate for an hour or 2 before cooking it. So far, onion, garlic, pepper as well is what I'm adding to it. Some people like to add like Scotch bonnet pepper, and that is good. Okay, so that's it for the natural ingredients. To that, what I use a bit of all-purpose seasoning as well, a generous amount of that. Black pepper. And if you know anything about when you're using onion, people, you know that it will let your eyes run water. So I've added black pepper, all-purpose, a bit of turmeric, not a lot, paprika. And it is at this point where, you know, what you add to it, the seasoning that you add to your chicken, how you season it up, it's totally down to you. I have a bit of thyme in this as well. So let me open it so that I can get out a generous amount. Thyme. I also like to add a bit of soy sauce. Not a lot. And what I do is that I fold everything in. And you are probably wondering why I don't add salt, because salt is added as well. But a lot of the seasoning that I'm using actually have salt in already, so I don't add a lot of salt. But I'm going to add just a bit of salt, not a lot. So let me get some salt. Just a little bit of salt. I think I want to add a bit more all-purpose as well. I fold that in. So everything is folded in. And what I do is that I put that away, marinate, put that away in the fridge for an hour or two before cooking. And there you have it. That is how, so let me put away my seasoning as well, put everything back into its place. It's always good to clean up as you go along whenever you're cooking. It makes it just so much better, makes everything easier. And there you go. And there you have it, Team Destiny. That is how you cut up a whole chicken, and I've also seasoned it up as well. So the only thing that is left, I'll allow that to marinate for 2 hours because that's my dinner as well. Allow it to marinate and then I will cook it until I upload another video, Team Destiny.